All right, man. What's good, YouTube, man? Today we are reacting to the Assassin Teapot. It's weird. Y'all see my face, doo, so y'all can recognize me when y'all see me down the street, bro. We're gonna see how can you kill somebody with an Assassin Teacup. This is only for research purposes only.
There's nothing more powerful
Educational
than
purposes
you
only.
making your
Tripping.
thing
I'm already
happen.
essential.
Really going for it.
Let's see.
Can be used to pour yourself a drink and to pour a drink.
Different colors. Okay.
This is an assassin's teapot. It can be
Teapot.
used to pour yourself a drink and to pour a drink for your enemy. You can then down your drink to prove that the drink isn't poisoned. There's no poison in there. Don't worry about the poison. There is no poison. But then when your enemy takes a drink, they find out that it is poisoned. And by the way, this doesn't require you to spend the last few years building up an immunity to iocane powder. It works straight off the bat. No preparation required.
But what about if you spill it? What about if it goes into your cup? You know what I mean? Like, what about it just don't work? And then you die and he's sitting there like, oh, what happened? You're dead. You know what I mean?
Because the assassin's teapot can be used to pour 3 different drinks, which I've shown here using 3 different coloured liquids. And by the way, if you plan to poison your enemy, I recommend using liquids of the same colour.
Do I need to tell the
recommend.
viewers that they shouldn't be trying to poison people?
Exactly.
Like legally, just the
Like, hey,
would
come
break
on,
the
like,
flow
you
of
know
the
what I'm
video,
saying? Like,
film.
like, I'm gonna catch a body regardless. I'm gonna catch it regardless. You showing me already that I can buy an Assassin Teacup, and you're showing me how to use it. I'm catching one. Play with me if you want to. Somebody play with me right now, and I get an Assassin Teapot. Bruh, you're dead. You're a dead fellow.
Self having a fake phone call with a lawyer in which I explain the problem, and so long as I say out loud, don't try to poison people, then that should have me covered.
See.
Okay. Click.
The way you choose the drink is by sneakily covering up one of these holes. If you cover this hole, you get a blue drink. If you cover this hole, you get a yellow drink.
That's
if you cover
crazy.
no holes, you get a green drink. So 3 drinks in total. Though actually, no, 4 drinks. If you cover both holes, you get the null drink. But how does it work? Well, you know me, if I want to describe how a hydrodynamic mechanism works, I like to make a transparent 2D version of it. I'll put a playlist of those videos in the card and the description. First, I needed to figure out what was going on inside the teapot. And a bit like with the gluggle jug, the only really sensible way to do that was to hit it with a hammer. So you can see there are 2 chambers here side by side, and they both lead up to the spout. Additionally, one chamber leads up to this hole, the other chamber leads to this hole. For the 2D version, I don't want to put them side by side because then it wouldn't be 2D, but I feel like I can put them top to bottom and it should still work. And here it is. So if I want a blue drink, I cover this hole. If I want a yellow drink, I cover this hole. And if I want a green drink, I cover neither of the holes. And for completeness, here's the null drink. Similarly, I could have a black coffee, or I could have milk, or I could have a milky coffee. So that's how it works, but why does it work? Why is it that putting your finger over different holes causes different liquids to flow out? Well, it comes down to surface tension. It's similar to this demonstration you might have seen before. Look, I can pour water from this bottle, but if I turn the bottle upside down, no water pours out. The trick is that there's a gauze covering the opening of the bottle. So when I pour it like this, water can flow out and air can flow in. But when I turn the bottle upside down, for water to flow out, air would need to flow in. And for air to flow in, surface tension would need to be broken. Here's another example where instead of a gauze, there's a small hole. The hole's actually big enough to push a straw up into, and it floats to the top of the bottle. It's a really cool trick. You know, strictly speaking, ultimately, it's not surface tension that's keeping the liquid in place. It's air pressure. Like, the Assassin's Teapot and these bottle tricks wouldn't work in a vacuum. So the reason the liquid doesn't fall out of the Assassin's Teapot when you have your thumb over the hole is because the atmosphere is pushing on it. Atmospheric pressure is holding the liquid in place. And that's counterintuitive. Like, you think, well, the real explanation is that, you know, what?
That's crazy. So I have a plan. I want somebody to mess with me. Mess with me. Mess with me right now, bro. Oh my, you're a dead human, bro.
The liquid did fall out a little bit, it would create a vacuum, and the vacuum would pull the liquid back in. But there is no pulling force, there's only pushing force from the atmosphere. It's like when you suck on a straw. It's not the suction that's pulling the liquid up the straw, it's the atmosphere pushing the liquid up the straw. And that's really counterintuitive, because you feel like, well, look, that's me doing the work. I'm sucking on the straw. I'm pulling the liquid up with my lungs. At this point, I want to go off on a bit of a tangent and talk about a type of pedantry that I think isn't always helpful. Like, imagine you say, I'm sucking liquid up a straw now.
All right, bro. Like, we get it. Like, we sucking. Oh. Yeah, see, I made it weird. Okay, never mind.
I mean, it's a weird thing to say out loud, but hypothetically. And then an annoying physicist comes along and says, well, technically, you're not sucking water up a straw. It's the atmosphere pushing it up the straw. And then in the next breath, that physicist might go on to talk about the flow of positively charged holes in a semiconductor. Well, holes don't flow, and a hole can't have a charge. So why is it okay to talk about the flow of positively charged holes? Well, the reason it's okay is because it's useful. But I would also argue that it's useful to talk about a suction force. So long as you keep the underlying physics in mind, you should be okay. Like, for example, you can't just increase a suction force indefinitely. Eventually, when you get to about 100 kilopascals, it stops working because you've run out of atmospheric pressure, the thing that's really doing the work underneath. Similarly, I think it should be all right to talk about the flow of cold. Like, if I put an ice...
That makes sense. It doesn't make sense, but it makes sense. Like how he explained it, it makes sense. Like how the pressure is going up, like the atmosphere pressure is pushing the water up, not you sucking on the straw to bring the water up. That actually makes sense. That actually makes sense.
Cube in my drink, the cold flows from the ice cube into the drink. Of course, that's not really what's happening. The warmth from the drink is flowing into the ice cube, and so it gets colder. But it's useful to talk about the flow of cold, again, so long as you understand the underlying physics. Like, you can't just keep pumping cold into something because eventually you reach absolute zero. By the way, these animations are from a video I made about how all LEDs are secretly solar panels and all solar panels are secretly LEDs. The link's in the card and in the description. Okay, tangent over. The point is, we all know that for the water to get out, air needs to be able to get...
Did Berger do a whole, like, talking about... He didn't talk about his other video, but, like... I'm trying to see how you could kill him. You know what I mean? Like, let's get straight to the point. Okay, you hold the teapot, right? You hold it different ways. All of that. Right? Boom, you straight. Now you can kill anybody. You could kill your dog. You could kill your grandpa. I wouldn't recommend, but it's an option. You can kill your worst enemy. Who else can you kill? Shoot anybody. You're an assassin. That's your job. Kill him. That's your job. Dang, I wonder how it would be to be an assassin. Like, bro, like I'll be.
And with your finger off the hole, well, air can get in at the top. But if you cover over the hole, the only way for the air to get in is through the spout. And that's where surface tension comes in. Surface tension acts to minimize surface area. You might think, well, one way for the water to get out is if the air can sneak past it on the way. But what would that look like? Well, it might look a bit like this. You've got a drip of water starting on one side, and on the other side, you've got a bubble of air forming. But see how that increases the surface area of the water. And because surface tension acts to decrease the surface area, that's not energetically favorable. And so you don't get this bubbling effect. And instead, the liquid is trapped inside the chamber. This is also the principle behind a magic trick, by the way, sometimes called inexhaustible bottle.
All right. I'm not gonna lie, that's all you need to know how to kill somebody with Assassin Teapot. He's going in depth, explaining. I don't know if y'all want to see it, honestly.
Think a drink. Actually, it's usually a bit more elaborate. It'll have more chambers and different options for drinks. But anyway, you can read all about it in my kids' book, Science is Magic.
Dang, you got everything.
So these are magnets.
Yeah.
And then these are metal, so they stick to the magnets. And then when they drive around,
Okay.
they also go round with it.
And that makes it spin.
Yeah. And some of them go loop the loop like this.
That was my daughter spontaneously explaining the mechanics of the thing that she just built. The thing she just built was from a KiwiCo project, the sponsor of this video. Actually, my kids have had a KiwiCo subscription since way before they approached me for sponsorship, so I can tell you a bit about them. It's a subscription service where a box comes in the post every month, and everything you need for the project is in the box. You never need to...
All right, bro. Yeah, 2-minute promotion. I ain't gonna lie. That's all you need to know, man, about the Assassin Teapot. How to kill it. How to kill somebody 3 different ways. I wouldn't recommend using different colors because that's just obvious. Like what? Like 3 different colors came out the teapot. I'm not drinking it, obviously. Use the same color. Make sure you know what hole that you put the stuff in. And then boom, like you straight, you Gucci. The police will never know, honestly. Wise words from KJ. Don't kill nobody. Yeah, I was playing, honestly. I was playing, but yeah, here's this Assassin Teapot. You can get it anywhere at your Amazon, at your local restaurants, and all of that. I'll see y'all next time, man. No cap, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe.
Don't hate on my haters, that's switching up, baby, I got you. I'm in it like a tractor. The way you wear that dress, they gon' attack you.